So, Chris, looking ahead here to Bedlam,
Let's go.
right? Chaos, pure unadulterated chaos here. Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Chris, I'll take the Oklahoma side here first. Dylan Gabriel has looked pretty good this year. Really, the only blemish they've had, and they've gotten close a couple times. A couple weeks ago, UCF almost got them knocked off, and then last week they did get knocked off against Kansas. I have to make the point here that they only attempted 19 passes last week against Kansas, which I think is just mind-blowing, right? That they would only do that, right? Oklahoma's offensive identity is built around throwing the ball 30 times a game plus, right? Lighting teams up. Even when they come to the SEC, you're not going to have Dylan Gabriel, but they have a really talented freshman quarterback that they got from last year. Throw the damn ball. All right, throw the ball. Let's not get cute here. Let's not try to run the ball against Oklahoma State this week. Finish the damn thing that you started this year and just throw it. You got Dylan Gabriel. The guy has probably 15,000, well, not 15,000, but he has damn near, he has over 10,000 yards passing. I know that. He's another guy that's been in college forever. So the defense has been all right. I think they've been better than what they've been in years past. They're more consistent. But again, at some point when you're in these tight matchups, you got to get a stop, right? You got to get a stop. You cannot give up 30-plus points to some of these Big 12 schools and then expect to walk over into the SEC next year and compete with Bama or Georgia or Tennessee or even Kentucky for that matter, right? We've seen how all that goes. You got to be able to bow up and you got to be able to play some defense, Chris. Talk to me a little bit about Oklahoma State, a team we haven't really mentioned that much on the podcast.
No, I agree with your whole statement there about Oklahoma, 100%. You're right. We haven't talked about Oklahoma State much. Why? Because they weren't expected to do anything this year. And when you start the season out losing to South Alabama and Iowa State, nobody's probably going to talk about you. But I'll be honest with you, K-State and Oklahoma State, two hottest teams in the Big 12 lately. They've been blowing the doors off of everybody. So, Oklahoma State 6-2, man. They've rattled off some wins, some big wins, not by just a few points, by pretty much a landslide over K-State, Kansas, West Virginia, and Cincinnati last week, Christian. Quarterback Alan Bowman, man, this guy's been playing good. They moved on from Spencer Sanders, who I think it's at Ole Miss now. He's thrown the ball for over 1,500 yards. He spreads it around quite a bit to those receivers. They don't really have a true alpha over there. But the biggest thing with OSU, man, they could run the ball. Ollie Gordon last week, I think, had like 270-some yards rushing against Cincinnati. The kid's got over 1,000 yards, Christian, 140 carries, 10 TDs this year. Very underrated back. He's actually really, really good. I got to watch a little bit of him this year a couple times. Just because he plays on Oklahoma State, they don't, I guess, want to publicize that too much. But defensively, I think it is one of the big keys in this game. You talked about it. Oklahoma coming off this loss, I would assume is coming into this game pissed off. These two teams do not like each other. I remember this when Nebraska was in the Big 12 years ago. This game was always close. Didn't matter really who was the number, whatever highest ranked team versus a team that maybe had 4 wins going in. It's always close. But defensively, like I said, Oklahoma State's, they're giving up like 24, 25 points a game. They're not terrible, but they're going to have to rely on that defense. Keep Oklahoma's offense off the field, in my opinion, in this game. I think points are going to be scored, Christian. I'm going to give you my prediction right here. And I think nothing more for an Oklahoma State man would want to knock Oklahoma off this year, since they're departing and going to the SEC next year. So I have this game super close, Christian. It's going to be interesting. I can't wait to hear your score. I have Oklahoma 38, Oklahoma State 35 in overtime.
Woo! So just to confirm, you got Oklahoma 38, Oklahoma State 35? Okay. Yeah, so I've got Oklahoma 38, Oklahoma State 31.
Jesus.